Stealthing. Who would have guessed that taking a random man home and letting him inside you could end up in such catastrophe? For those of you who don't know what stealthing is, it's when a young man is having protected sex with a young woman, then remove his condom so he can tell his friends he got to hit it raw. I've had some conversations with random women who are horribly offended that any man could do this to a woman. It's deceptive, and it's taking away her right to decide what she does with her body and possibly her reproduction. I have a few things I'd like to say on this topic. First, I don't condone this type of behavior. I don't understand why any man in this random sex culture would want to risk tying himself down to a female dumpster fire, one that would have such a small amount of self-respect that they'd sleep with someone before they got to know them enough to trust them. People who know and respect each other don't pull shit like this, but also people who know and respect themselves don't go home with random people. You aren't going to end up with a douchebag who's going to pull off a condom mid-coitus when you're in a committed relationship and have taken the time to get to know someone. There's a reason this makes women so angry, and it's not that they've been deceived. If deception were a problem for women, you'd never see women encouraging other women to tie their man down by lying about birth control. And it's not about reproduction, because the same women who are so loose in the hookup culture have no problem having that fetus sucked out of their bodies and tossed aside. It's not about taking away her ability to do what she wants with her body. In a hookup culture, you're already doing whatever you want with your body and taking unreasonable risks. Women don't like this because it forces them to take personal responsibility, something that women in our culture just do not understand. Nobody is responsible for protecting you but you. I told one woman that she could empower herself, buy female condoms, and take the power of protection into her own hands. That was beside the point, she said. So you have the ability to stop this from happening to begin with, but that's beside the point? Then what is the point? To become a victim and demand that somebody be punished? Like I mentioned before, I was told that the biggest problem was that they had been deceived, and every woman I spoke to said that stealthing should be punishable just the same as rape. So when a woman deceives a man, lies about birth control, they'd like for there to be no consequences, and they'll happily encourage other women to do it. But when you turn it around, they expect the worst of consequences and to label that man as a rapist. Should we talk about women who sleep with professional athletes or very wealthy men and steal the condom afterwards to impregnate themselves in order to get a free ride? Not to mention, could you imagine what would happen if men were encouraging other men to do this? You know what a man is likely to tell another man if he doesn't want to get a woman pregnant? He'd say, keep it in your pants, or be responsible, or in other words, don't have sex with people you don't trust. They don't say we should make a law that makes it punishable as rape if a woman lies about birth control. But if they want to make stealthing punishable the same as rape, lying about birth control or otherwise getting pregnant against a man's will should also fall into that category. It's deceptive, and you're taking away a man's right to decide how he reproduces and with whom. A law like this is likely to be used primarily as a means to punish a man. How do you prove that it was intentional? When a condom slips off, is the man an involuntary rapist? How many women will simply use this to throw a man in jail when he refuses to do exactly as she says? It's just more unnecessary leverage to remove the tiny bit of power men have over their lives. The guilty men will never get punished, and innocent men will suffer, and women will continue to be victims. How far will we go to protect irresponsible or even conniving women at the cost of men? Why are there no women who take issue with this? Are these women never planning on having sons? Men seem to always stand up for issues related to girls and women. How long is it going to take for them to start standing up for themselves, standing up for true equality, and end double standards that negatively impact men?